listening to the podcast To Be Single or Not to Be by Shanna Montana, a podcast where we talk about the single life, dating, and relationships so you can make a decision at the end of each episode and decide to be single or not to be. That is the final question.
So today's topic is uncertainties and insecurities. So while we hope that yesterday was a day of love and fulfillment, if Valentine's Day left you with more questions than answers, this episode may be for you. That said, we aren't here to rain on anyone's parade. However, we are always here to give you the dose of reality that you may be missing, you may be in denial of, or you may need to just put in your back pocket for future use or reference. So, all of that said, today we have some guests that you may recognize who always add value and great insight to the show. And here they are. So up first, Chemyeeka, say what's up to the listeners.
What's up, everybody?
Welcome, welcome. And Tori, say what's up to the people in the land of the relationship and free.
Hey, y'all.
Taking a relationship free or the single and free. You know how that goes. All right. So we're going to get right to it, y'all. So talking about insecurities and uncertainty. I wanted to talk about this because I think for me personally, like feeling insecure in a relationship is like, I don't know if I would call it a deal. It's a trigger. It's not a deal breaker. It's a trigger for me because I've dealt with situations where I've, felt insecure about something that was initiated by another person. They made me feel like I was absolutely crazy. So even though they were doing shit to make me feel insecure, but it was like, and now that I think about it, look, I don't want to have a flashback, but now that I'm like thinking back, I had two situations that I very vividly remember that these people used to throw it in my face, like, you're just insecure. And they used to say it in a way like being insecure is like having herpes or something. Like, we all have insecurities about stuff, like we all go through things that make us feel insecure, whether it's related to a relationship or not. So that's one thing that always stood out to me. You can be insecure about something at work, your weight, your height. It's a lot of stuff you can be insecure about. But the way that, and I know now, hindsight being 2020, I recognize it was really like them manipulating me and gaslighting me and narcissist behavior and all that stuff. But every time I would bring up something that made me feel insecure, I would never use the word insecure, but they would throw it back at me. And so, once I finally had my relationship awakening and my come to Jesus, I came to the place where I am now, where I'm like, we need to talk about this more often because I'm sure it's somebody out there that has been made to feel like their insecurity or their uncertainty is wrong. And we're going to talk about all sides of it. But I just don't feel like a lot of times if we are insecure, it's something that we can do about it or the person around us can do about it. Or we might need to just do something about it by getting the hell out of there, one or the other. So that's my 2 cents. Look, outside of my original 2 cents, but whatever. So some people may think that, insecurities and uncertainties are one in the same. However, I don't agree with that. I don't think that's correct. So what would you all say the difference is between an insecurity and an uncertainty?
Okay, I'm going to go first because I know Chemyeeka going to get us both together. Because mine is probably wrong. But to me, insecurity derives from uncertainty in my mind. Because let's just go to the pettiest of pettiest insecurity. Okay. Like you walk in the room, you're like, oh, I'm not the cutest girl in here or whatever. That's just from you not being sure of yourself or you just not having that confidence in yourself. Or if you're in a relationship and you have like this insecurity, oh, he may cheat on me for whatever reason, you feel like that's because you're not certain of y'all's status, whether that be like you just don't trust them for whatever reason. So yeah, I think insecurity, uncertainty is the root of insecurity. So in a way, I just kind of feel like they're kind of parallel, they run together, but they're definitely not the same.
Okay, I like that. What would you say, Chemyeeka?
I think T-Baby just hit it on the head. So I guess if I was going to give my personal definition, like insecurities have everything to do with you. And then the uncertainties have to do with situations.
Yeah.
But if I go deeper into that, a combination of Webster's dictionary, you guys can quickly Google, and especially looking at what emotional security and insecurity is. that word insecurity comes from, it's a feeling. It's something that you feel. Uncertainties happen in life, and they aren't necessarily something that only you feel.
Right.
Like if we having financial uncertainty, if we're having uncertainties around whether this trip will happen or not happen, you know it, I know it, everybody involved knows it. But you could be in a room and be full of insecurities about how you feel in that room, and still nobody ever know, depending on how you respond or how you're carrying yourself. So that insecurity is something that is very much generalized to you and how you feel, which is kind of Shayna, like when you were talking before about the whole gaslighting and other things, because that person, if they lack empathy or the ability to empathize with you, it'll never be, I understand. It's always, well, that's what you feel. Right. I'm sorry you feel that way. I didn't tell you to do that. That made you feel that way,
So yeah, that makes sense. And I love the way you broke it down. Like insecurities more so are within, like me walking in a room and feeling insecure. That's just me. Nobody knows it. I could look very secure, but nobody would know this, versus the uncertainty of like, if you said we were going to go on this trip in May, yet no flights have been booked in April. I'm very uncertain that this is going to happen. I'm almost,
by April.
Yeah, I'm also almost more damn sure know that we're not going. So I know that this is not happening. So that said, where would y'all say the biggest point of uncertainty? Because uncertainty is something that now that Mika has clarified, and Tori, I love your explanation as well, shows up, for all parties involved to know. Where would you all say like the biggest point of uncertainty shows up in relationships? Just being unsure if we should be there. Like what triggers this or makes this thought happen?
Oh, I don't know necessarily about the triggering, but I think to go back to the original question of like, where does it start or where does it begin? One of these episodes talk about labels. It's when we moving from that talking label to that dating level. Like, before I change the label on this, but do I want to take the tag off these pants, or do I still plan on taking them back?
Woo, you said something. I still got some pants with some tags on from 2 years ago. Tell you the kind of commitment issues I got. So. But that makes sense. Like trying to navigate that, especially that phase, because like I think we've talked about it maybe on social media, like the difference between what talking looks like, what dating looks like, what being in a relationship looks like, and the different levels. So being able to, that could leave a lot of uncertainties. I think that's like a huge gray area that you really have to make sure that you are with somebody who wants to go from uncertainty to certainty. So Tori, what would you say about that? Where do you think that biggest point of uncertainty shows up? I said, let me ask you this. So do you think that if you're in these situations where, maybe if you're trying to determine what the labels are and it's causing some uncertainty, do you think that uncertainty is absolutely connected to insecurity in some instances? Look, Mika, you ready to stay it, girl. Go on ahead.
Is it connected in some instances? Yes.
Okay. Tell us more.
What I was saying, sometimes it is, mainly because the uncertainty can trigger your insecurity.
Okay.
In a way, like let's say you're in the in-between stages, right? And for me, the video you posted specifically on Instagram, it triggered me. That was triggered me. I felt hurt 100%.
Okay.
Because when you're dating guys and you are a relationship person, you made it clear from the beginning, like, okay, this is the path that I want to lead. I'm not saying they got to happen tomorrow, but I'm just saying, eventually we need to be boyfriend, girlfriend. Right. And that will then lead to a more serious relationship. So we need to establish what we are by title or what may have you. And then they just kind of linger on. My insecurity. I used to have an insecurity of, was I enough to be a girlfriend? Because for a while, I had really, including my husband, I probably had like 3 real relationships in my whole life.
Don't bring mail into your foolishness.
I probably had like 3 real relationships in my whole life. And I say my whole life like I'm 80. I'm only 30, but other than that, I was just I was letting guys take me on dates. Yeah. And they were just pretty much making clear what I was in their life. But they were 100% my priority. Like they call me up, I'm there. I'm a girlfriend without them saying girlfriend. When I would always ask that, that famous question, what are we doing? and they hit me with my
feelings hurt every time.
I think we cool right now. That trigger
we kicking it.
I'm asking the question because I am uncertain because I know I'm giving this effort and he's not necessarily giving that same effort.
Right.
And then he says, "Oh, we cool right now. Like what we doing right now, we gonna see." That triggers the insecurity in me. Like,
what a nigga say, we gotta see, that mean you gotta go.
At that point, I'm just gonna take my rolls from dinner and I'm just gonna go home.
Rolls. That mean the meal ain't even came yet. We're just gonna eat before it even get here.
I'll go home because now you can hurt my.
I get younger. Right now, at my age, I better not be in no restaurant where they serving rolls. What was it? Oh, Charlie's. Like, they bringing rolls to the table.
Let me tell you, my weakness is some bread. Okay, don't take me to the restaurant if they ain't got bread.
Give me some good cheesy biscuits. That's what I need.
Well, okay, I can deal with endless shrimp, but I ain't no nigga taking me. And then for Cheesecake Factory, I'm real basic in that way. Cheesecake Factory is one of my favorite restaurants, which judge me, mammy, don't judge me. But yeah, I get it. In those situations, you absolutely had the guys is like, we chilling, we gonna see, we kicking it. What's wrong? Like, you ain't good with this.
Yeah, like, what's wrong with that? It's like, what you mean?
What's right with it?
I've been getting cute, wasting my makeup,
wasting my good mascara.
Games. Like, no, sir, we in a relationship.
That's why you get the real me from the jump. I need extra for me to dress up and to put on makeup. You gonna get the. I'm vulnerable from the jump. This is how I look on a regular basis. Give me extra for me to put in the effort.
I know that's right for me to show up. Yeah, you better show up in your prom suit. You want me to show up looking extra nice with a full face with a beat. That, at minimum, when I think about the makeup, I've probably spent about $85 on my face on a good night.
Exactly.
Makeup on.
Alone.
Waste my time and come home and have to wipe it off. Like, you off rip when I walk through the door. You should cash out me $85 as soon as I come.
Or just talking about someone, who gonna pay for the meal? Sir, do you know how much I paid to get ready for this? Of course you paying for the meal. I paid for a meal to get dressed up.
Talk to me.
Give me my purse. So if you ain't paying, I don't know who paying.
I'm about to head out. That's it. So
I don't know what you gonna do.
It is what it is, man. I'm about to head out. So Mika, what would you say? Do you think that, insecurity is absolutely connected to, uncertainty in some instances?
Yeah, I think it's piggybacking off of T-Baby. The uncertainties definitely lead to a lot of insecurities, but also as far as the relationship is concerned, confidence is key. And we think about self-confidence in life, whether it comes to a job and et cetera, but that's key with your partner. Right. I guess it's true we want to be vulnerable with our partners, but I can't expect my partner to have all the answers or my partner to be the one to make me happy. That's not where my fulfillment comes from.
Right.
So I got to be able to be confident in a relationship with you. If I'm uncertain about who I am or unable to be confident in this relationship, then that's a red flag.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that because at this point we're using them not interchangeably, but if we're looking at like a cycle happening, the arrows are pointing in both directions. Like insecurities lead to uncertainties, uncertainties lead to insecurities.
Okay.
But if we're looking at the root of those uncertainties, if it's the fact that you are inconsistent, if it's the fact that I'm uncertain because I'm still not sure if I'm only seeing the representative and not the real you, am I uncertain because I done seen and met your family and now I'm worried about who you represent? Because we talked about last season how we have to understand in marriages, you aren't just marrying that person, you marrying the family because that's who they represent until you all establish who y'all want to be in a family.
Right.
So if these things are causing you to be uncertain, which therefore then lead to that feeling of, am I enough? Can I handle this and other insecurities? Then that's essentially when the relationship's going to end. And like we said, for a lot of times, some of those are big hitters that may not happen until later on in the relationship. But a lot of those questions, I feel for a lot of men and women who know they want to be in committed relationships, those are things you think about before you even say, yes, I want to date you, because you know what your end goal is.
Red flags trigger uncertainties and uncertainties trigger insecurity.
Insecurity.
They all run in the same circle.
Yeah.
She just took you out of class. I'm gonna write that down for us. That needs to be put into a visual.
And later on, we are going to, right? Yeah, you need a circle to cross map,
all of that.
Yeah. So later on the episode, we are going to dive into a lot of what Mika just talked about, so people can identify what those things may show up as. But right now, I want to ask you all this question, because this is something that I firmly believe. Just because in my experience, somebody listening could be like, her ass is 1,000% wrong, but I believe I'm right. So I want to say, do you all 100% believe that if a person feels insecure, their partner definitely had something or has something to do with it? I think so. Because every time I didn't feel insecure, the nigga was cheating. He was out here talking to the females. He was doing stuff that, when I was dealing with the representative, because that's what I dealt with a lot of in my past situationships, they made me feel one way. And then when the energy shifted, the call slowed down, the visit slowed down, the energy slowed down, ultimately, it was some BS going on. And when the insecurity started to creep in, it was because of how they were moving. So I attribute that to, it was my partner. My partner was the reason I was out here feeling crazy. So what do y'all think about that? Do you think if the insecurity is in place, is the partner involved? Are they the reason in a relationship?
T-Baby, you can go first.
Go ahead. You go ahead, professional. You
Don't throw the professional. This is all I just gave you
a real unprofessional ass opinion. So
what I'm going to say is the overall answer to what you're saying is no. Like you gave a specific example, so we're gonna touch on that. The overall reason saying no is because people come into relationship with insecurities from a past partner. And when you start to feel like this partner is moving in ways that you either ignored from the last one or just similar to that, you be like, hold on, now I gotta watch you because my ex did that.
Blame this brother for everything.
Yes, basically, he out here. Basically, you don't label him as Usher or Future just because that's what your ex was, and he out here trying to be, John P. Key or some other gospel singer. You trying to put him in here with the R&B singers? Like, don't do that man like that. But to your specific point, though, I think what's key there is for anybody listening: is it insecurity? And I'm preaching to myself too, so I don't want it to seem like, I'm talking about Shayna's example. I'm talking to Chemyeeka too.
Okay.
Is it insecurity or is it a little bit of guilt because you know what's happening, but you're choosing to stay, and you can't be naive because you know the truth?
Talk to me.
You about to make me shout.
Hello, somebody. Hello, Shayna. Hello.
It was hello, Chemyeeka too.
Pass it over here, Tori.
I took myself a down too.
Pass the peas like we used to do. Pass the peas. All right, so got distracted. But yeah, I think part of that, you're absolutely right. When I think about those situations, I definitely, if I say it was 3 guys and number 1, mucked up completely, when I went to number 2, even if they were like just a portion of a fuckboy, I carried all that weight from number 1 and number 2. And then I picked up a little bit more BS from number 2 and I carried it over number 3. So it was like anytime the first brother, when he walked out the house, he actually was cheating. This brother walking out just to go play basketball, and I'm assuming that he going to cheat. Even though he told me he going to play basketball, he got his location. I got his location on my phone. He ain't lied to me about nothing, but I'm still like, this nigga cheating. I don't trust him. So I guess the real question, I ain't gonna say I don't still feel the way I feel, but what was your opinion about that, Tori, in regards to you? Do you think that a person, their partner, 100% or has something to do with their insecurity, or do you stand with where Mika does?
I agree with both.
See, baby, I always be on the bullshit
area type of person. I just I'm black and white. I think the insecurity definitely is within you already.
Okay.
I do agree that the red flags that your partner is giving you, you may not recognize them as red flags, but something that they're doing is triggering your insecurity. So do they have a responsibility in that? Yes. But is the responsibility on me to recognize that and to be like, okay, like check myself, like, okay, is this me being crazy? Or like, is this because I've been here before and I know where this is about to lead. So I need to go and either nip this in the bud or get myself together, because now I'm putting something on my partner or him that is not really there. It's like a feeling
that I really shouldn't.
Right.
So where would you all say, since we're talking about, and if I'm going to take a step back and say, okay, I'm going to own it, that it's my own baggage or whatever, and it's wholly me, it's not fully my partner's responsibility unless they are doing some BS, outside of not trusting, where would you all say that insecurity is like the biggest place that they really show up? What do you all think people are most insecure about in relationships? Or I guess other than their relationship status, is there anything else that stands out to you that people may be super insecure about?
Money.
Okay.
Social status a lot of the times.
Yeah, especially in 2021.
I guess money and professional status doesn't really run together, but at the same time it do.
Can we go a little deeper too, Tori?
We sure can.
In the sense that money and social status may be insecurities, but they generally show up before the relationship, because you're not even gonna go, they actually show up when you're deciding who you're going to approach.
Okay.
When you get into a relationship with somebody, though, and you start to know their history, like the type of women and men they've been with before, they start to talk about their sexual escapades and other things. Other securities come up about, like, am I good enough and all that based on who they've been with.
Okay.
So it's like, do you really want to start talking about people's history? Because that's when you be opening the window of comparison. Because they have people around here wondering, like, how you even end up with me when that's what you came from? Like, what?
I hate to see it. When you look back, like, if that's who you was dealing with, how I wind up here? Like,
literally, I tell my friends that all the time, or like, I used to tell myself that when like a guy stopped talking to me or might ghost me or we broke up for whatever reason, and then I see his next, and I'm like, if that's what you're interested in, ain't no way you was really okay. I'm good now.
And yeah, it might be no crazy, but it's like I'm looking at me and I'm looking at her, and I'm like, I was never your type. I was too much for you. If that's what you was going after.
Even beyond physically, like if I know her like on a social level,
yeah,
I'm like, baby, we don't even hang in the same type of groups. So.
Yeah, we just move in the world differently in every capacity. So I think that's a lot. That insecurity point is huge when it comes to the history. It's like pulling that Carfax report. When you pull that Carfax, you see what kind of maintenance been going on under the hood, who they've been dating, what their past has been like, what their money and social status is like, but where they come from, or possibly where they've been and where they not going, what the family look like. It's a lot of things that history can dig up and make you feel some kind of way about. So I really like that. So I want to ask this though. If you find that, you are in a relationship, say, and you keep wondering if someone else would be a better match for you, other than your significant other, excluding like Michael B. Jordan or, those people. Is that uncertainty or is that insecurity? Because I know I've been in situations where I literally had, I daydream all day about being with somebody else, but I'm sitting here looking at you. Or so what do y'all think about that?
I think it's insecurity in that you may be feeling that way because you're like, either I'm not enough, or you're insecure in your partner thinking he's not enough for you for whatever reason you're not being fulfilled.
Right.
And then it's also uncertainty because in any relationship you can be madly in love and everything going great. You don't know where it's going. So you may just unconsciously just be like, okay, so just in case.
But if you're madly in love and you don't know where it's going, you're probably madly in love by yourself.
That's true.
So that's a whole nother conversation. You probably, in that relationship by yourself too.
You probably got anxiety. So you probably should relax.
Yeah, or something. Because I hope you're not feeling that way if that person's not officially your partner, but
That's true.
So Mika, what were you going to say?
So keeping it in context of this podcast episode of uncertainty and insecurity, and not bringing in any other emotions or outside influences, because I feel like this is a loaded question and it can have a lot of pieces to it.
It is.
It's definitely, I feel more so uncertainty, because if it was an insecurity, it wouldn't necessarily show up as you wondering if someone else is a better match for you.
And I agree.
Is someone else a better match for them?
Right.
And then also, just even, I'm sorry, y'all, I'm breaking down language.
No,
even in terms of this, I've had conversations with girlfriends, you know, I think it's about time he gonna ask me to marry him, but I don't know, like, man, that's like the end all be all. Like, am I sure there's nobody else out there for me? Like, am I sure I want to say yes to him? Like, you know, you sitting down like,
I wish y'all could see my face. Because that is a crazy spot to be in. That you are in this relationship and you are saying like, oh, it's about time for him to pop the question, and he probably is, but you literally thinking like, am I sure he's the one? Like, that's terrible.
That's why I say you either have anxiety issues or you know that's really not the one.
Or fear. Like, and so that's why I was like, because this isn't an insecurity per se. Mm-hmm. But when you getting ready to go into a marriage, or even an engagement, but that period of engagement, all the questions start to come up like, yo, I know what my family history looked like. Am I about to relive this? Or am I about to give this person all of this and like they still, you know, knowing at the end of the day, sorry, not sorry. Marriage is beautiful when done correctly.
Correct.
When marriage is also beautiful when two people go into it understanding why marriage was created. Mm-hmm. But for a lot of people, you still understand that marriage in no way is a contract that cannot be broken.
Right.
And people don't break it down like that. You cannot believe in divorce, but that does not mean that things are not going to happen in that marriage that will make you wonder, like, hold on, how much more of this am I supposed to take?
Right.
So when talking about this question specifically, you could be looking at all the things in your history of people in your family or people that, you know, have kind of shaped the way you view things that they've gone through. And you like, dang, hold on. Like, this ain't perfect. And it's never going to be perfect. But that could still be causing you to have some of those doubts about, is there a better match?
Yeah. And that's what you said is very fair. And I think that question, it was a loaded question, but it is loaded in uncertainty. But it's still a lot to think about. I mean, I just would hope, I mean, I can't say, but I would hope when the day comes that someone proposes to me that it's like, that's not really a thought. I would hope that the thought is like, I'm so ready to spend my life with him, that it's not like, am I ready to spend my life with him? You don't want to pose the other way, but that's the world that we live in. That's what's real. So I would say that, you know, if you are in that situation, I want to put this little caveat. If you feel those things in the way you described it, Mika, and you are really questioning, you know, is this it? You know, is it possibly time for that person to get out of the relationship? Or does it mean they just need to do a little bit more work to see if they need to stay? Because I think it might be time to go. If you
I think for some people, that's a...
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I think that's a great, what's the word I'm looking for? That's that great yield sign for some people. Okay. Like, you've been driving in this, like, the fast lane. Like, oh, like, you know, we good. You're going 80 on the freeway, maybe 90 in some places. Yeah. And now you're getting ready to get off on an exit and you realize, all right, I done crossed 4 lanes of traffic with no problem. Yeah. But I can't get off on this ramp going 90 and it's a 25 miles per hour ramp. I gotta so like, down. Like, what's the future looking like? Because
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, no, you're fine.
I know. To me, if you get to the point where if you really going 90, but you really like enjoying the relationship, and you get to the point where they're ready to propose, and you're like, am I ready? That means you ain't even thought about it. Like, y'all haven't even had the marriage conversation because you questioning whether y'all ready for marriage. Like, so a lot of times it's maybe not the person like not wanting to be married to that person. It's just they even, I like how you compared it to the ramp. They haven't even slowed down to say like, okay, where is this going? Like, we're really enjoying each other. We're really loving on each other. You know, we feel like we have a purpose together, but you haven't sat down to have that marriage conversation.
Right. That makes sense.
Early on in the relationship, it could mean something totally different. Like, maybe that does mean that it's time to get out if you having a lot of uncertainties, like we said. But when you deeper in the relationship, I feel that's when you have to put more thought into it. Mm-hmm. Unless you're a person, once again, though, that's been ignoring red flags or giving so many chances over and over again.
Right. And we're definitely about to get to that. So I want to ask this, you know, Of course, getting out of a relationship makes sense if it's like unbearable or dangerous, of course. So I want to ask, the following questions to help us decide in these certain situations is if getting out is our best move or if it should be our next move. And on that note, we'll be right back to answer those questions. All right, so we are back to continue the conversation. So as I was saying, getting out of a relationship sometimes is very obvious when you need to do those things. If it's, unbearable, dangerous, abusive, anything of that nature. But we want to ask some questions, and discuss things that may help you decide if getting out may be your best move and may need to be your next move. And before we do so, Mika is going to give us a short disclaimer.
Yes. So you all, this was a heavy episode, I realized, right after Valentine's Day. And we went straight from if you decide if this going to be bae to you deciding if it's going to be forever bae. We didn't discuss in the middle. So apologies. But what I want to say is I know cuffing season has ended for Valentine's Day, if I remember the
because the championship should have been on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, so this means this is bae. So these same uncertainties, insecurities could also be what you use to decide if you want to stay or not stay in next moves of your relationship, such as visiting the family.
Right.
Friends. Are you meeting siblings? Are you taking your first solo vacation? So please, by no means think that if you are in the middle, this does not apply to you, because it does. It's just the way it happened to fall.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you for saying that. Somehow I would have forgotten to. All right. So that said, some things that we want to talk about. One, and you all can tell me what your thoughts are on these things. Does this relationship bring out the best in me? Would y'all say that's like level 1, level 5 of it? Level 1 is like super important. Level 5 is like, not so important.
Oh no, that's a definite level 1. Like, yeah.
Number 1 of level 1.
Yeah.
Number 1 of level 1. Okay, so you got to think about that because, if you feel your worst every day, I've dealt with a relationship. It was many moons ago where like I would pull in the driveway at home and like my stomach would drop, like don't want to get out of the car kind of deal. Like those are the worst situations to be in. All right, the next one. Do I feel happy or upset majority of the time? Is that a 1 or a 5?
That's definitely a 1, and I think that pegs back into does the relationship bring out the best in me.
Okay, connects to that. I think so too, because
but you also have to know when you're tired.
Yeah, you say you have to know when you're tired.
Are you toxic or is your partner toxic?
Oh, okay. Are you toxic or is okay? Yeah. It could be either one. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, like why are you angry? Are you just starting stuff or what?
Or why are you upset all the time? It's not me. Or if you're a happy person, like I dealt with somebody once upon a time that was with his friends. Like if I was around him, he was with his friends, he would be this amazing, fun guy. And then when it was like just us, he would be so mean and horrible. I'm like, I'm the fun person in my friend group. So I know it ain't me. Like it's something with you and we ain't bringing out the best in one another. So I got to get up out of here, Do we share the same passions and goals for our future?
Number one.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not seeing a flex from 1 yet.
Okay. So that's not a bad thing. These are great things, and feel free to elaborate. This is one. I'm sure this is probably a 1. Do they add value to my life? I know y'all ain't hesitating on that one.
That's number 0. Like that's 0.
Start there, move up.
But I think these are all things that people have to ask themselves because realistically, we know there are some listeners out there that the answers to these questions are no. Like this is not happening because I know I always like to say, does a person bring value? Do they bring happiness? Do they bring peace? To my life. If you are subtracting in any of those 3 areas, then some work needs to be done. And that work may be that I need to just exit stage left. Listeners are going to be like, this bitch always trying to leave the relationship. That is not the case. Listen, okay, do I really love him or her or just the person I want them to be?
That's a whole other podcast.
It is.
That's about potential. We talked about that last week. We talked about potential. I can't do shit with potential in 2021. You can stuff it where the sun don't shine.
And this is why you can't do anything with potential. you should always have potential to be better than what you are.
Right.
That's a progress. That's a journey.
A given.
So what am I waiting on? I'm not going to continuously wait on you to reach the next level if I'm already here and you got all this potential to meet me here. By the time you get to where I'm at now, hopefully, I'm on
the next level.
Yeah, I'm on the next level. Like,
it's like playing Super Mario Brothers. You a level behind. Now you're trying to get.
Yeah, I can't do that.
I think
chasing me.
If we had to do the Likert scale of like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, like everything you said before this was a definite. Like Tori said, you were on 1.
Right.
I think I could push this to like a 2 or a 3 on the potential situation, because it's most important to understand how this relationship is making you feel. And then once you are like, oh, okay, I'm great, I'm fine, then let's move into the other person, because you don't go into a relationship to change anybody. Right. So if it's changing you, that's a flag to get out.
Yeah, that makes sense. If it's changing you, that's a flag to get out. And most times it's not changing you in a better way, because if it was changing you in a better way, all those other answers would have been yes to everything.
Yeah.
The last one, and I think this is obvious, are we fighting more than we are laughing? Is that a 1?
I don't know, actually. Had you asked me this about 4 years ago, I would have said that's the number 1. Because that's a communication problem.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, what are we fighting about? Like, communication is number 1. So if you get your communication together, we shouldn't be, depending on what we're fighting about. Now, we're fighting about some serious issues, like we fighting about religion, and you don't want to get up to go to work, you don't brush your teeth, stuff like that. It's like, all right, maybe we don't. Maybe we don't need to be together. I had a friend come to me and was like, girl, I had to stop talking. It was in a full-blown relationship. It was like, we were new friends, but we were getting to know each other, starting to share like intimate details about, our friendship, having girl talk.
Right.
And she was like, girl, I had to stop talking to my man because it's the second day and he woke up, he didn't brush his teeth. And I know he off work, but he didn't brush his teeth. And I was like, so that was the straw that...
Y'all, my face is over here like a scream mask.
She was like, I was tired of it. I was sick of looking at him, and he didn't wake up to brush his teeth.
Listen, last week, a listener wrote in about hygiene. She said her dude was dirty. So she stayed at his house for a weekend, and that weekend he only took 1 shower. Said his nails were dirty. She said the towels in his bathroom looked like he washed his car with him. And
oh no.
She was want somebody in the bathroom like that.
She was trying to figure out if she should stay with him. So I want to find out. We told her you probably need to leave, sis, because if he's like that, I know
gotta go.
Your pH off, because if y'all having sex, that's a whole nother story. But how does your friend come to the conclusion? Like, did she even say anything to him, or did she just decide inherently, I'm not going to deal with this shit and I'm out?
You have to know her. She's a nonsense type of person. Like, she like, you know what?
No nonsense.
And she about told him, like, it's because you haven't brushed your teeth. Sorry. Brushing your teeth is not a priority. I know your life is not a priority.
And I know your dick smells like so let's start there.
So it's like, if we having them type of arguments, it's like, okay, y'all have like a boundary difference, like a moral difference. So obviously you don't belong with them. But if we having like petty stuff, like, y'all need to learn how to communicate.
That's not even petty. That's a moral issue that you don't bring.
That's what I'm saying. The toothbrush thing, or he won't go to church and you love the Lord and he like, I'm cool on that. Like, that's the real argument. But like, if we waking up and we arguing over who want to watch Grey's Anatomy and who want to watch Masked Singer, like,
right,
figure it out. Like, I got 2 TVs. Just, it's not that deep.
I think Mika's still in shock. Are you stuck, sis?
Look, bitch. Like, we adults and you, okay.
Like, what are we arguing about? Like, I think that goes, you just gotta, I guess, weigh the factor. But if you're with an argumentative person and that's just not your nature, then I guess that should be considered too.
That's a whole nother ball game. Mm-hmm. And you probably need to be with somebody. I had somebody on the show season 2 that she said she liked to argue. And she was honest about that. So I think you have to give us somebody that's your match. If they like to argue, go find somebody who likes to argue. But go ahead, Mika. The floor is yours.
All right, y'all. Bear with me for like 5 seconds and keep going. So This question, I feel like, is broken up into pieces, only in the sense of T-Baby hit nail on the head. What we arguing about? What type of fights? These fights, or are these disagreements? Because disagreements are a form of communication.
Right.
Actually can be a healthy form of communication, because that means, one, you both have autonomy in a relationship, and two, you understood the other person enough to know you didn't agree with what they said, so you weren't blindly following along behind them.
Right.
Also, with that, though, I think is that question where you have to look at, I don't know if this was y'all, but when you're younger and it's like that whole we in love and it's a thing, y'all on the phone, you know, your feet keep up on the couch, on the wall, and you like, I know we in love because we ain't even had an argument. That's not what that means. Right. Like, so if you in that situation and you heard this question, you like, oh no, I should stay because we haven't had an argument. I'm gonna need you to evaluate what have y'all been talking about, because if y'all haven't had anything yet that y'all disagree on, I want to challenge you that maybe y'all ain't had the right conversation.
And people don't understand also that a disagreement does not mean arguing. I've dealt with people that we've talked about things and we've disagreed, but we've had a constructive conversation. Where at the end of it, we've come to an agreement. And I don't really like the term agree to disagree. It's just he disagreed and I felt another way. Or some things is like, that's a topic that I really just don't dive into. Like one thing I was telling somebody recently, like I don't really have conversations with partners too much about politics, because I enjoy politics to some extent, but I know that sometimes people get super passionate about that. And it's so many ways that a political conversation can go that it's best that I just save my mental health to not involve myself, because I'm like, all I got is one vote on November 6th every year. So, you know, a local election. So I just don't involve myself. So back to that, I think people have to understand it's not about saying, oh, we haven't had an argument. At some point, you probably have had some sort of disagreement. And I agree. If you haven't had any disagreement, yeah, what the fuck y'all been talking about? Nothing, probably, you know. So that said, that concludes that list. But I want to say this. So bustle.com says that if you are uncertain by the following things that I'm about to go over, after the 1 year anniversary of your relationship, your partner may not be the one. To be single or not to be is saying, if all of this is happening that I'm about to go over, after just 1 year, that Negro or woman got to go. So that's they may not be the one we say is, oh, it's sis or bro, let it go. Amen. The first thing, you are, and I want y'all to tell me what your thoughts are. We're not going to rate these on a scale of 1 to 5. We just want to share what you think. If this is like, you got to go or it's worth working on. You are not compatible sexually, meaning maybe your sex drives are different. He won't try new things. You like to have sex 3 times a week. He want to have it once a month. What do y'all think?
Bye.
If you got the strength that you know that's not going to cause you to linger into another relationship, maybe you can make it work.
Because I know when I dealt with it, I was for damn sure about to call it.
I was like, you know what's funny? When you asked that, I didn't even think about like infidelity or cheating or stepping out or anything. Yeah. I was just like, I'm bored.
Yeah.
I'm bored. If we don't match, like I'm bored.
And even if I don't cheat, I'm gonna be frustrated. So then we
I am gonna be frustrated.
Ain't gonna be no disagreement. We're gonna be arguing. That's gonna turn sexual frustration.
Because now I am mad, actually. I'm mad. Like,
yes, I'm angry about that. Look, we've established that. We're on the same page in that area. I need what I need. So, okay, if y'all not on the same page about that within 1 year, you need to let it go. You do not 100% trust your partner. They already cheated or they being sneaky, stuff like that. What do y'all think? Mika, what you want to say?
Yeah, I'm gonna let Mika. She feel like she just want to say something.
When I be doing the faces where I'm trying to like put my mind together, y'all be like, Mika, that's the face you want to talk, and I be like, that's my face of like making sure that I think through what comes out of my mouth.
We appreciate it because we can't always say the same. We appreciate it,
right?
I don't want to. I gotta really. How do I?
It ain't about saying you don't want to hurt nobody. Feeling. Just say what's on your heart.
I was about to say I don't want to hurt my own damn feelings.
Step into the room. You might have to.
This is one of those. If I'm being honest, I don't know if you can 100% trust somebody. If that makes sense. Like hell, I don't always 100%. I get
that. You may not be able to 100% trust somebody, but you know, for the overall, just like, do you trust this Negro?
Nah, like, so if I got doubts because you've cheated and all these other things, and you still giving me reason to believe that you're doing that, then it's a no for me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Especially within a year. That's another.
Yeah, it's so early.
Within a year.
Yeah, like even if you're having a disagreement or something, like that's the core thing. Like you should not have given me a real reason to not trust you yet. Dang.
Right. In a year.
A year.
I mean, it's always too early to cheat. Is that you
right?
Beat down, messing with me. I don't play about that cheating.
At this point in my life, my relationship, you cheat on me, I'm definitely gonna be on the docket. Channel 4.
Yeah, bye. I'm probably gonna call 911 myself.
Oh yeah, and this is probably one of them things where I had this doesn't count, ladies. Look, I'm supposed to talk to myself. This doesn't count if y'all don't know if y'all exclusive yet, and you wouldn't be like, but you were talking to so and so and do that. That's don't count. Y'all went exclusive.
No. So the next one, you and your partner don't feel the same way about one another, meaning like you may be hearing wedding bells and he won't even call you his girlfriend, or he won't, you talk about a ring, fight.
That's a no-brainer.
Fight or flight, or you still, y'all, it's a year and he's still saying y'all quote unquote talking.
Take a flight, sis. Catch flights, not feelings. Go ahead and get you a vacation.
I agree. I
feel like it can be worked on. Look, I'm gonna be a bird. I feel like it can be worked on,
Exactly.
Wait a minute.
Oh, you serious? I'm sorry. Let me take my laugh.
Me too. I thought you was joking.
No, I don't know. I'm like, is that okay?
A year.
Now, if you're ready. If you come into like, I'm ready to be a wife, like this is where I'm going, and he like, well, I'm cooling. Now that is like, let's go. Like, I'm not going to be talking to you forever. But if y'all have been in like a real relationship for a year and you're kind of like, okay, I'm ready to be married, or whichever one, man or woman, or whoever you are in this relationship, your role, and your partner goes, okay, well, I'm not ready to be married. It may be worth exploring, like, okay, so what is your hesitance? Like, why don't you want to be married? Now, you probably should have this conversation a year ago, but now that you're here.
Or at some point before that year.
Yeah, now that you're here, it's worth having a conversation about
or even if you don't go that far to say a wedding, ultimately, if it's a year and he hasn't committed to you, because I asked that on my Instagram story recently, after a year of like dating or dealing with somebody, if they didn't want to get in a committed relationship, would you break up with them? And like, I want to say the vast majority said like, yes, they would. And I believe in that. I think at this point, before I would have played I've played those fun games of let's just see what happens. But I think that at this point in my life, if we are a year in, we both need to know that we want to definitely be together with titles of boyfriend and girlfriend. And if not, I'm out.
Yeah, now, I do agree with that.
You see it like that.
Yeah, we should be exclusively dating within
a year. If not, like he's definitely playing with you, sis, or whoever. Because definitely most times it's them. All right. So your partner is not committed to putting in the work when things get tough. Like you all have a disagreement, you have a fight, whatever.
You gotta go.
No conflict resolution, a bone in their body. Gotta go.
Yeah,
I like that. Gotta go.
Yeah, because we're not going to be overworking ourselves in relationships because you still want to like try to communicate.
You want to work smarter.
I prefer them to a counselor so they can get some help for the next person.
Yeah, send them to what's the website about women therapy for Black girls, because they probably assist, so they probably need to go. Let me be quiet. All right. The next one, you cannot be yourself with your partner, meaning you can't be authentic. You like to drink, but they don't drink. They don't want you drinking, so you don't drink when you're around them. You don't curse when you're around them, but you curse with your friends. You talk in a louder tone sometimes with them. You sound like a church mouse. Like you just are doing things that aren't you. You aren't being authentic. What do you think after a year?
I think we learned this before 2020. 2020 just opened the doors for me. That's a no. Like, just walk away, because not being able to be yourself is either going to cause you to lose yourself or to be completely unhappy and miserable in that relationship and start to wonder why you're unhappy, because you slowly fail to realize that you're literally like changing into someone who is not who you truly are.
Right. And that won't last down the road at all. So the last one, you don't see a future with them 5 years from now in what you both imagine it to look like.
No.
Like you can't see kids, you can't see marriage, you can't
Oh, that's a definite no. Like, because kids one of them number one things. If y'all can't agree on whether you want kids or don't want kids, that relationship don't.
Yeah.
Let it go. Yeah, because essentially you're gonna force one person to do something they really don't want to do, and it's just not gonna go well. It's probably gonna end up in disaster. So just cut it now.
Cut it now. Yep. So sounds like based on the earlier scale of things, listeners, make sure that you are aware. Go back and listen to that part if you need to in regards to those things of, what brings out the best in you in relationships and what that looks like. But also these things that if you haven't hit that 1 year anniversary mark, and some of y'all may say even sooner than 1 year, just listening, if you've hit that 1 year mark, and those are just a few of the things, you got to make your own list and come to your own conclusions. But if those things are not happening, it's a strong chance that Mr. or that Mrs. is not for you. And on that note, we'll be right back with the Living Single segment.
This now brings us to the Living Single segment of the podcast. It's simply a segment where we want to send you good vibes, good energy, and give good advice on any questions that you may have about being single, dating, or relationships. Remember, nothing is off limits. So, welcome to the Living Single segment of the show, and let's get into it.
All right. So today's question has come from our email at tobesingleornotttobe@gmail.com, where you can send in your questions as well. So the writer says, I was recently married 3 months ago. Congrats to me. My relationship and my marriage to my now husband has been great all the years leading up to the marriage. We live a good life. He treats me well, and I really have no complaints except one. That one complaint is social media. I hate to say it, but my hubby is a social media junkie, and he posts every aspect of his life except me. I knew when I got with him how much he was into social media, and I had and have no problem with that. However, I do have a problem with the fact that you post all aspects of your life except for your wife, and he has never posted me. I post him on my page, but when I bring up him posting me, the conversation immediately turns into an argument or is strongly dismissed. I am writing in to find out what I should do and how should I handle this. I mean, I'm not going to leave my marriage over this, but I feel like something in the water ain't clean, and I need to know what it is. What should I do?
We need to ask why. And not in a, so it's not in a sense of like coming in, being condescending or coming in with your own reason why you think why, but being actually like able to sit and listen to why he says why. Why I say that's important is because there are several things at play here. I'm not ruling out some in order to be unclean. Like, is he trying to be sneaky? But also that sense of protection. If he is that open on his social media and puts everything out there, is him not putting you on his social media a means of him protecting you?
But see, that's what's suspicious to me, because in real life, I've seen people that put all of their life out there. And she didn't say this, but I've been to some men's page that I know are married, and there's no sign of his wife, and there's no sign of this person looking like they're married. And my thing is, if we've come to an agreement, if you are protecting me, or we've decided that, you aren't going to post me, it still should be something on your page that lets people know that you have a wife.
Yeah, I have a personal testimony about that, actually.
Yes, go ahead.
Mel, but it's the complete opposite. And that's why I was agreeing with what Chemyeeka was saying. And I agree with you, Shannon, as well. Mel is not a social media person. Now, the accounts are there. But if you go to the account, the last post he probably made was maybe last January or something like that. And
that's very different from people who don't post all the time. It's very different. Like if I'm dating somebody who'll never post,
right?
I don't think when you start dating me, all of a sudden you gotta be posting me. But if you post 6 times a day, Negro, and you post where you eat, where you drink, where you post where we at. Why I can't be
right? That's what I was gonna say. I talk to them. I'm not like a post everything I do in my life, but I post. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I like social media. Yeah. And so I would be like, I'm not. I'm trying to figure out like why you not posting me. He was like, Tori, you're all over my profile. I just haven't posted since last April. Like I just am not that deep into social media. And I was like, okay. Then I had to check myself. Like, okay, so why do you want him to post you? Like,
yeah.
Do you want to post you?
I think sometimes, think we're proud of our relationship and we're proud of our partner. And because like she said, she posts him, I'm sure she's proud of her husband and whatever.
Yeah.
And we just feel like it's almost like I want you to show me off to the world sometimes too. Like I show you off.
Yeah, I was like, it would be a red flag for me. I probably would go through the DMs. Now, I'm not recommending that she do that by no means, because I do feel like you should have a conversation like, okay, so I like social media and I post you because this, that, and third. Can you please, don't beg them, but like, have some type of conversation.
So this, how y'all tell her, how can she get him to have the conversation? Because she said that every time she tries to bring it up, it turns into an argument or she's strongly dismissed. So how should she approach it to get him to be willing to listen and have a real conversation? Not that she's going to get the outcome she necessarily wants, but she'll at least get the satisfaction of having a conversation. So how does she approach this?
Yeah, I actually missed that part. I didn't know he'd be getting upset.
Yeah, she said I posted.
Yeah, that's why.
Conversation. I posted my page, but when I bring up him posting me, the conversation immediately turns into an argument or is strongly dismissed.
So that's why I was like, definitely making sure we hear both sides. And like Shayna, I agree with you 100%. But the other piece that's missing is like, is this person somebody that, in all honesty, if he posts her, then she becomes the target of some backlash or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I only say that in the sense of like, Nashville got a lot of celebrities. And
this is true.
We know they in relationships, but their social media don't necessarily show it. And I can only imagine if they were to post who they connected to, and we know them offline.
So let's assume this. Let's say that makes sense if he is a person that's trying to protect her. Yeah. However, say he's regular smeller degler, that he ain't protecting nothing. And he works he works a regular retail job, whatever she does. And it's nothing, it's not an image to protect. And he's just not posting her.
Then I feel like that having him understand, like, we need to have this conversation. One, so I can hear what you're telling me and not see you being defensive. And two, that understanding of, if you post everything else about your life that you care about, how am I supposed to feel if you're not posting me, but I know everything you post you care about?
And that should be the question. You shouldn't ask, why aren't you posting me? Why aren't you posting us? What's the real reason? Be like, okay, so you're posting the rest of your life. It just makes me feel a way, or describe whatever your feeling is. And because you post that you ate your favorite meal tonight, and I cooked you that spaghetti, right? And you put it on Instagram, and I can't be on your Instagram, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's up with, like, that makes me feel away, and I'm trying to understand.
Or if you're doing Trey songs and being disrespectful, you posted that you ate your favorite meal, but I mean, technically,
who cooked it?
Right.
Or technically, I should be your favorite meal.
You eat with rose gold pork. They thought you don't live by yourself.
That's spaghetti number 2. I'm number 1. So
it was a dessert that you didn't post that you were talking about, but
So what part of this meal? Why can't I get posted? The spaghetti got posted. But I do like what you all said. I think if it's just a regular everyday person, she does have to approach it with, like, you post these things that you care about. You post, your favorite podcast, your favorite meal. You post all these things, but that involve me. But I am never posted or tagged or mentioned. Like, people are literally, I'm sure, like, when they got married, she probably posted a picture of him. I want to, like, do this nigga even double tap your pictures? It's like, we need more. I got more questions than the answers.
Now, sis, if he ain't posting you and he not double tapping your pictures, something is wrong. I don't care what nobody
Let me tell you something. When the Instagram algorithm used to show, like, don't show it no more, but used to show, like, who you followed and what you like.
Yeah.
I dated somebody that would never like my pictures. I was like, it's because then they don't want them other girls to know who picture he over here liking, so they can't see it. That's how my insecure mind be thinking. So with that being said, what would you all say the final answer is for this young lady to move forward and have a productive conversation with her husband?
Well, they're married, number one. So conversation is always worth it, because you want to stay true to your marriage and you don't want to leave off something petty and off of misunderstanding, really, if you could just simply figure out how to communicate to him so he could be most receptive to you. Because obviously the way you're asking, not to put any blame on her, but the way she's asking or the way she's approaching it is just not the way he prefers to communicate.
Right.
So if you really want to answer, try to figure out how he communicates or what's best or the best way to ask him so that you can get really to the nitty gritty of the problem.
I love it. Is that it? Okay. So take that advice, write us back, let us know how it worked out. And in the meantime, in between time, if you all want us to answer your questions, feel free to send them to Facebook or Instagram to Be Single or Not to Be, or the email that I read earlier. And on that note, we'll be right back with the resolution. All right, so this brings us to the final resolution segment. And ladies, I want you all to tell the listeners how they should handle insecurities or uncertainty in their relationships, or should they just throw the whole relationship away? No, I'm playing, but not really. So, what are your thoughts? What are your final thoughts on this matter and how people should handle these feelings?
Work on the root cause. So when they arise, especially those uncertainties or just those slight gut feelings, before they can snowball into the big things that have you up crying at night or standing in the mirror wondering why Keisha Cole's I should have cheated playing on a loudspeaker somewhere. Just ask that question. Ask yourself questions like, what is this? Where is this coming from? If it's coming from, your significant other's actions, maybe it's time for you and that person to have a conversation. And if that conversation can't be had, or they go into defense mode and they're blowing you off, especially when it's early on in a relationship, that's just a sign to go. Also, another piece of that too, I think, is that also making sure we doing the work that we need between relationships so that we don't end up on a Jasmine Sullivan record, that, or when she was telling Bryson Tiller, are you always so insecure? Like, we don't want to be that either. So doing the work on us, like as in me, so that when it's a us, we can clearly define who and where the issue lies.
Right. I love it.
I don't have any more to add to that.
I would always say I'm with you when you're right. So I think that ultimately, the insecurities and uncertainties, sometimes they are inevitable when we have to do our own self-work, even before we get in a relationship. So it's like that root cause. I think that I was a person who before I got to the space I'm in now, I had to do my own work to be open, ready, and willing to allow another person in my space and not hold everything over the next person's head where I felt insecure or uncertain about everything. However, I think the other part is we have to be super honest and real with ourselves, that if we are in a situation where, one, we are feeling insecure because of things we have going on, or we are feeling uncertain because of things that are happening with our partner between the two of us based on some of the things that we talked about and some things that we might not have talked about. I think you need to do a constant assessment of those things to see, what T.I. say, is you happy? And if you ain't, then it may be time to go. But ultimately, I'm going to say, I'm not always telling y'all to leave, just be clear. But a lot of times, y'all do need to leave. But to get back to it, just make sure you recognize that the insecurities most times start with us. The uncertainties come from everybody around us. And I think it's up to you, if you are in a partnership or dating somebody, that it could become a partnership, that you're able to look at the situation holistically and hopefully come out on the positive side with a healthy relationship, marriage, or whatever it may be, with the person that actually wants to post you on Instagram. And on that note, I want you all to give yourselves a round of applause. Wonderful episode. It's always a great conversation. I feel like this is a conversation we probably are going to end up coming back to, because even though we said a whole mouthful, we said a lot of insightful and great things. It's just one of those things, like in my gut, I feel like we got some more to say that we'll get back to later on. But ultimately, your opinions are always valued and appreciated. I thank you all so much for coming on the show. Can't wait to have you guys again soon. And on that note, we'll be right back with the Montana Minute. And now this brings us to the Montana Minute. The first thing, uncertainties and insecurities are not the same. They can be directly connected, but keep things in perspective to know when it's you or when it's them. The next thing, know that if either of these things has crept into your relationship, you must do some digging to figure out the root of the problem, because left unhandled, it won't turn out well in the end for either of you. And the last thing, just because you encounter either one of these things along the way, it does not mean that your relationship is over. It's all about how you handle the information and the outcome that you both desire. Not one party, but both. So be sure to share this episode with a friend who may benefit from it. And now I leave you to decide, to be single or not to be. That is the final question. Signing off, yours truly, Shanna Montana.